Hi, I'm Mara, President of JEF Munich, and we're meeting today Iiris, the President of JEF Finland. And first of all, I wanted to ask you, how are you and how do you deal with the situation in your country?
Hi, I'm so glad to be on your video and greetings from Finland. I'm actually in Jyväskylä, which is a city in central Finland. And in my city, the corona situation is quite under control. And overall in Finland, I think we're coming 1 week late on the epidemic. So the situation is not that severe as in many European countries, but still we are staying at our home as much as possible. And example, I'm been working from home for 6 weeks now, so it's quite different because in my work I travel a lot, so this is very different situation. But I think in general in Finland people are still quite positive or have a positive mindset on the issue, and everything is going quite good concerning the situation.
That's good, but what are the preoccupations of the people in your country? You mentioned that that they have still hope, but if you know some preoccupations or some people who are more concerned from the crisis?
Yeah, I think like it depends a lot about like your whole life situation, because a lot of people because their companies are really struggling. A lot of people have been like are now unemployed or not able to go to work because of there's no customers or the restaurants are closed. So I think it's very difficult for them to cope because it's such a different kind of life you have to lead now. And I think it's also the difficulty comes from not being able to predict when this is gonna end. I think like because when you know that okay, this is gonna return to somewhat normal situation in like 2 months, that would be easier to cope. But when you have no secure income or doesn't know what's going to happen to you, then I think it's very difficult.
Yeah, and how is it concerning for activities of the JEF? So are you managing the digitalization, or do you think it's a good thing, or do you think, oh my gosh, we are losing members and all the activities?
I think it's quite both, because in one way it's easier to participate because you don't have to travel to where the event is happening. When it's done online, we have hosted a webinar and we are going to have another next week, and our organization inside Finland are doing the same kind of things. And this is also a challenge for us because we have to try new things. And a big disappointment for us was canceling of the Europe Day celebrations in May, but we're making something to match up those hopes that we had for the day. So yeah, it's kind of very difficult, but we think that all organizations are in the same situation. So it's like as good or as bad for everyone as it is for us. But I think it somehow might be an opportunity to gain also new members from areas that doesn't have that much JEF activity already. So because it's easier to attend to the webinars than to travel to the events.
Yeah, that's true. And do you have any wishes or expectations of Europe?
You mean JEF Europe? Or
like the European Union, and do you have like, I don't know, a big wish or an expectation concerning the crisis and the situation?
Well, I think that this crisis shows that we are stronger together, because this is like affecting all countries around the world. So there's only so much we can do as a single member state. So we have to tackle this together. And something that we're expecting, I think, in general, is that there would be coordination when lifting the restrictions, so that we don't have another wave of the pandemic. But I think all what we have to do, I don't think it's not that much what EU has to do, but what the member states have to do. The member states are the ones who create EU and decide what EU does. So we have to pull together and have coordination, because otherwise this won't work.
Yeah, and are you satisfied with the solidarity in Europe? at the moment, or do you think it could be stronger?
Well, there are a lot of good cases of solidarity, but I think at first I think it was like everyone was only concerned of their own situation, but I think now there is more signs of solidarity, and also about when opening the borders should be done coordinatedly and as sort of quickly as possible, because people work in many areas of Europe across the borders. But I would also want to see more compassion and solidarity for the people, especially in Hungary, whose human rights and the rule of law has now been under threat because there has been falsely justified restrictions on those under these extreme measures. So we have to also see not just the epidemic side, but also the human rights and the social side of this pandemic.
Yeah, you already mentioned it, like thinking of measures like closing borders and inhibiting inner European trade. What kind of future do you predict for the EU?
Oh, well, I think this crisis won't be the end of the EU as some have predicted, but I think we will realize how much we need each other and how much easier it is to tackle global crises when we are doing it together. So I think this will strengthen the EU, and I hope that after this pandemic is over, we don't falsely get too comfortable with the situation, because I think there might be some other crises coming up in a few years again. So we have to be prepared.
So you see a chance that something good will derive out of this crisis for the European Union?
Yes, I think the EU is often said that the EU gets stronger after every crisis. So I believe that will happen on this case also.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
It was a pleasure to meet and to talk to you.
Yeah, you too.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.